We're going hunting on Hastings Beach. Yes folks, we're back here in Hastings and today we're on a falling tide with 45 minutes. It'll continue to drop and we're clear to get around the end of the pier. So we're going to get over under those cliffs, we're going to see what's there. I've seen videos done by the Kentish mudlarkers and I've been assured by our Nathan that there are things to be found, and I've already picked up a tiny bit of sea glass, which I understand is quite rare on this particular bit of beach, so that bodes well. So come and join us now as we have a look what we can find. And Caroline today is being ably assisted by young Max with his Max cam. So let's see what footage he gets as well.
Come on, Daddy. It's got it in his dresser, Daddy. It's got it better. Granny, Grandpa.
I think I start off with Right, low tide has arrived, so we can go around the end of this lump of whatever you call it, made of concrete. Jetty, I suppose. There's another bit of concrete, but there's a little way around so we can get to the other side and see what we can find. Woo! Very slippy underfoot. I've got my sandals on today because I think it's a bit hot for wellies and I don't think we're going to find any mud. So that's where we're heading. Let's go look for treasure. Look at this beautiful rock. So swirly whirly white, orange, yellow, ochre, brown. That's absolutely lovely, isn't it? Too big to take home. I put my handle. It's rather large, and that's just the top of it. Oh, and here we've got a hagstone. The hole is completely through, but it goes round a bend. It's really weird. Very nice though.
Another nice stone over here, lad.
What is that?
This here. Got a bit of that brown on the side, but on the top.
Oh yes, like a mop. What have you found, Mr. Johnson?
I don't know.
Oh look.
It's definitely caught my eye because see the indentations and like circles, like as if limpets or something had been attached at some point or something. I don't know.
Sorry about the wind. I forgot to put my wind cover on.
But certainly interesting
nice.
and unusual.
It is interesting and unusual.
Which ticks 2 boxes.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm doing well.
Oh, my first pretty shell of the day. That's nice. Only a little hole in it, but look at this as well. That has got to be a fossil of some sort of creature, a lizard or something. Just part of the skin. That is really special. I've never found anything like that before. You found something?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just marks from crashing together or whether it's...
Could be ribs, possibly. I'm not sure. That's
plant or...
interesting.
Just...
Perhaps you should...
It holds out hope for the possibility of fossils here, doesn't it?
It does. We're heading in that direction. Apparently somewhere over there is a waterfall. So we've been walking quite quickly, just scanning the ground, and there's very little sea glass here. But then I saw this. It's a very well-rounded, very well-worn piece of green. I wondered if the amount of sea glass is going to get more as we carry on. Or less. We'll find out. I'll keep you posted. We don't seem to have covered much ground, even though if we look back down there, we've come a long way, and Phil is, I don't know, let's have a look, sort of there, I think. But it doesn't look like we've made any progress when we look the other direction. Still no sign of a waterfall. But I have seen this. There it is. I thought I lost it. There. There's some sort of fossil in there. That's really nice. Second interesting fossil-y thing I found, and I'm walking so quickly I'm probably walking over loads and loads. We'll check more slowly on the way back, but I want to get to the waterfall. Come on then, do you think we can make it to the waterfall? We'll keep looking. I hope it's not around that headland there. That looks to be a long way away. I'm hoping it's behind that little bit sticking out there. What do you reckon? Oh, it's a long walk. It's a hot day, but we will persevere. Make sure you're drinking lots because we've still got a long way to walk. And it's a hot day. We're getting closer to the corner. I think I can see a little bit of the waterfall, but it's not as gushing as it was when I saw it in the winter on our son Nathan's video. But if we look down here, I'm out of puff a little bit, sorry. It's quite hard work walking over these big stones. There are loads of little shells and medium-sized shells. Lots of pretty ones. I'm not going to fill my bag with them because I've lost Phil, who's got the bigger bag. And I don't want to be too heavy laden. Look at that. It's so pretty. And all in this one little area here. With different colours. If I show you down there, more broken ones, but more whole ones too. Oh, you could spend ages here collecting shells. Alright, onward. The waterfall is in sight. We made it. Here we are at the bottom of the waterfall. And let's have a look up, see how far it goes. Here's the top. Isn't it a wonderful sound? Aha, here comes Phil. But also, something that always features on our videos other than Phil, it's the ball. Where is a mudlark or a beachcomb or a Johnson's video without finding a ball? Now Phil is sat there about to do a roundup to show you his finds, and I've looked down and seen this. So I don't want to look away because we lose it. It's the top of what looks like a cod bottle. Only a little bit of one, but still, it's a bit of sea glass. Anyway.
Now see, I thought I'd done well because I got a plate of sea glass, but now you've upped me on that, haven't you? But
sorry
let me
about
show
that.
you what I have.
Go on then, what have you got?
Well, I've got a hagstone.
Right.
Loads here that don't go all the way through, but that one goes round the bend.
Yep, you can just see.
Just round the corner, you can see there.
I hope you can see. Let's have a look up at the sky. There you go.
There are no bricks on this beach, but I did find a little piece of what looks like a terracotta roof tile.
Yes, it's sort of a brick. We pretend that's a brick.
It's as near as I'm probably going to get at this moment in time, but still, I decided it's coming home with me.
Right.
Then, see those marks again. And on this side, look, they remind me of fossilised, like, anemone that they had.
Could be, yeah.
Because they just look too perfect. And if they'd been whole, it'd be like a star on the top. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going with.
Right, oops.
Then I have a few shells. If I put these down here, I have a graduated set.
Oh, a graduated set.
Actually, I think that one goes that side.
Right.
Then that one goes that side. And then we've got this one. And
very pretty.
now look at that. Isn't that nice? And then we've also got one of those. Another one of those. Another one of those. And a slightly different version on the same theme.
Oops. Pretty though.
We've got down here.
I'm still alive.
And then they've got that, which looks very much like a devil's toenail, except
a modern one.
It's a modern version because it's actually a shell that looks exactly the same. Then I saw this, and again it caught my eye because
something there.
Similar to this one. See, there's just something definitely that almost looked like as it could have been a shape of a shell, and at the underside sort of thing. On the other hand, it could be an impression in into the stone of another animal, but both of those have got that ridging in them again. Okay, there's my bit of sea glass, which is slightly underwhelming to yours.
No,
but
you'd be proud of your sea glass.
I am, and I'm impressed with it on today. And this, now there's 1,000 million stones here, so you can't pick them all up, but that one did catch my eye. I thought the
hedgehog,
the colour on that, just the blend of black and white. You know, we can't play plain or pattern with these stones because nature makes everything pretty. But that stood out from the crowd, so I brought it with me. As did this.
Oh, a crab shell. Spiky bits on that.
Yeah, I thought, you know, that's an interesting piece.
All the little dots. I wonder if they are, yeah, they seem to be the beginnings of the spikes.
And
oh, there's more.
This is not just any old stone.
All right, let's have a look.
This, I believe, is
a fossil.
Something fossilized. It almost looks like grain.
Yes.
Also like grain on.
Either grain or it could be some sort of nasty little bug things. But yeah, I think grain is more likely.
See these lines?
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's
some sort of grass seed or something like that.
It just looked like grain on the floor as I walked past it. So
Very nice.
That, I think, is my favourite find until somebody tells me it's not a fossil.
Yes, be gentle with him.
But we've got lots of bits and pieces here, not so much rubbish and junk at the moment, and I don't know if we'll find that on this beach, and if we don't, then in fairness, all the best to Hastings for keeping a nice clean beach. But I've always picked up this sort of thing when we're at the seashore, those natural things. And if you come over with me now, just back to the shed, I've been going through 3 years of collectibles as I start to log them and file them away. So I'll just show you a few of the things we've picked up on beaches from Lyme Regis right over to the coast of Italy, and have a look what we found over the years. Let's pop over there now while Caroline takes a walk along the beach and see what else she can find. Well, here we are, back in the shed. And as I say, I'm busily trying to log everything and get everything put in place. Now that is quite a mammoth task, because we've been doing the mudlarking and Let's Go channel for a couple of years now. But before that, I was quite an eclectic collector. And that's what I truly am. Sometimes people get into this debate, surely that's beachcombing, not mudlarking. And I appreciate what you say. Bottom line, I was collecting long before I was mudlarking. To be honest, if I found a treasure in a charity shop, I'm as happy to pick it up there and pay the charity their money as I am to pick it up off the bottom of a river. The beautiful thing is I get better surroundings when I'm walking through rivers with Caroline than walking through high streets in towns around here. So it's got its advantages, but collecting's what it's all about. The bug we all seem to share is finding things. Looking, finding, and then keeping. But of course, when you keep things, as you've heard me say so many times, slowly the garage gets taken over. Well now, slowly the garage is getting emptied and my shed is getting taken over. Most definitely. I now have, from the attic, my 8-foot picture of the seascape down at St Ives. It's taken from out at sea, and it's the entire landmass of St Ives, all the shops. I believe even Woolworths is on there from the day when they were open. So that's going to be going up on the wall soon, just up behind me. And there's another sea relic just here, because it's nice to collect little things, and I do. I love driftwood. There's a lovely little piece of driftwood there. And I've got lots of little pieces of driftwood because I have a plan for these. They're going to be part of a craft project that I'm going to be working on. And the only clue I'll give you is it'll probably come out around Christmas. But of course, as well as the little things, it's nice to have the larger things as well. And I have a few of those, because here is a rather large piece of slate. Because when we stay over on the coast in West Wales, rather than pebbles, as we saw there in Hastings, and all those magical, beautiful, rounded shapes of the rocks, it's a far more, I suppose savage coast isn't the right word, but it's far sharper for sure, and it breaks off into pieces. And here's a piece I brought back, which I thought would make a lovely piece at the back of a desk, because it is so flat on the base, and just to decorate this and make it into a desk piece. So that was one of my larger pieces of stone. I've also, as we saw the little hagstone over on the video, I've got some larger ones here. There we go, I can see quite clearly through that one. And I believe I have another, yes I do, slightly round the corner one. Where's he gone? I know he's here somewhere. There he is. I've got a slightly round the corner one, similar to what was going on the other, only much larger. So it's nice to have the little and the big, and boy, is this big. It certainly is. This I found on the seashore while we were staying at Aberporth, on the beach just opposite our holiday let, and I just couldn't leave it there. It was too nice, and it was rather big, but as you can see as it passes by the camera and me, it is large, but in its own way it's lovely, and I'm sure I'm going to find a use for it. But I must be honest, I got more than a couple of funny looks as I carried that along the beach with me. At least when I brought back my giant pencil, that's not in the shed, that's outside, but I'm sure there's plenty of you remember that when we were down on the estuary under the old Severn Bridge, that's right, the 07 crossing. Then I carried back my big pointed post that had been washed up in the sea. I do like large things. Of course, as well as the large, there's the small. There's the pretty, there's the elegant. Shells. We've picked up shells today, and shells are something that I love. Many years ago, when the children were little, and you got to remember, my baby is gone 30 now, but when they were little and our baby was around about 5, we were on holidays and we went to the seaside, and we decided we were a place, I believe it was called Quiberon, and I bought a little treasure chest box with a painting of the seaside, a bird's fly in and Quiberon written on it, told the children to fill it with shells. And they did. And we still have that from our first ever holiday outside of the UK when the children were young. We still have the shells. The little box cost me probably about 10 euros. The shells cost nothing at all, but of course they built memories. And that's the beauty of what we do, whether we're on a beach, whether we're on a dump or in a river, things bring back memories. And that's what I love. Of course, such lovely things. I remember this one. I believe that was on Aberporth. It was definitely in West Wales when everybody commented on how it looked like a caramel bar, a bit like a Mars bar. And we brought that back with us. When it comes to the more ornate, of course, when we went down to Italy, there were far more ornate shells to be collected on the beach there than what we find generally in the UK. And we look at those things now and we remember. Of course, when it comes to Lyme Regis, it could be anything. It could be scrap, it could be sea glass. We've got lots of that as well. We've got sea glass here, and then we've got more sea glass over here, all ready to get put away into their various places. But the one thing that we'll always bring back memories from that part of the world in Lyme Regis will be the pieces that we find that have got the fossils in them. And I've got a fossil just there, and then we've got a couple of fossils on this piece here, and it's just the experience of going somewhere, finding things, bringing them back, and then trying to make use of them. Now, the difficulty we've had for making use of them is obviously time. That's always a challenge, but also we've had the challenge of space, which I'm working on now by getting into the shed and being able to put your hands on things. There are things that I'm still looking for as I'm cataloguing. There's things I know I have. I know it's there. I know it's there, folks. It hasn't been thrown away. But where, which bag, which box, how far down the pile, and that's why now things are going to get logged away. Behind me, I've got my cabinet just below the radio there. I've got my old valve radio so I can listen to Radio 4 in the shed. But I've got my cabinet, handmade by some old boy in a shed, I would imagine. And what I'm going to do, it's useful having a wife who's into craft, because Caroline had a bag of these. And what I plan to do is to borrow 10 off her and then be able to fix those onto the front of each of these with a label in them. And for instance, if this one was labelled sea glass, then I'd be able to take my glass, which has been in all sorts of containers. Now see, if Caroline was here now, she'd be telling me off for rattling things, but she can tell me off when she does the edit. And as you can see, this is going to hold a fair bit. That tub probably go in here 6 times over. And then on the front, I can put sea glass, and if there's enough of it, and I got a sneaky feeling there is, perhaps I'll put the greens in one, colours in another, and the plains in another. But then everything gets put in its place. A place for everything, everything in its place. That is the theory. You will have to keep coming back to join me to check up on the practice. But another thing that I hope to be doing soon and sharing with you, and I'm sure you'll come back and join me for this, and that is a little bit of discovering what's inside some of these rocks that we have. Because sometimes you get a piece and you think there's definitely something in there. And we have this piece here, which you may remember we found on a beach, and when we broke it open, of course, you could actually lift that fossil right out of the place in which it sat, which is always incredible. And that's a joy to see. We have other pieces then. You can see there that there's two similar to that, one there, still embedded in. And I'd like to be able to get to those and see those more clearly. I want to be able to do some work with some of this wood that I have and some of the shells. But of course, the one thing I've been waiting to do is to find out exactly what is inside this rock. Offers Dyke, you remember the video? If you haven't seen it, it's the Offers Dyke video at the beginning of Offers Dyke. There on the Severn Estuary, I found this. And I'm pleased to tell you that, courtesy of our Nathan, who is with us on the video this week, he has loaned me a Dremel engraver, which I understand is the tool I'll need to go in my Dremel to get the job done. So that is something that will be coming to you from the shed very, very soon. Well, I think I've shown you enough of what's happening here. I hope you'll be coming back for a further update to see what's going on. Of course, the octopus, you probably spotted him as I was moving things around. And from Blitz Beach, I've got my lovely candle holder that I found. Hope I get to share some of those memories with you as I put this together and make up the craft. But for now, I'd better say goodbye and let you go back over and join us all on the beach, where we can see what Max is getting up to. Thanks for joining me at the shed, and as I say, as soon as this lot is away, this desk will be cleared and we'll be able to share some more craft with you.
What have you got for Grandpa?
What have you got? You got presents for me?
What's Max found?
Oh, should I put that in my bag? Is it, what is it? It's a brick, is it?
Let's open the box.
Max found a brick and... Oh!
Bex.
Bex Hill, probably.
Could well be.
Yeah, it's got words on it, hasn't it, Max? Can you see the words? B, B, E, X,
Max.
and X. That's a new name, isn't it? Max. Right, now I put it there a minute, and let me see if I can find something to show you. Look at that.
Oh, it's a crab head.
It's a spiky one.
We've seen two crabs today, haven't we, Max? We've seen a big one and a little one running on the beach.
Live ones?
Yeah.
Oh, impressive.
Look at that. It's all pretty patterns. It's all pretty patterns in the stone.
Yeah.
That's a fossil.
Manky Panda.
Oh.
Manky Panda. Manky. Sparkly.
Sparkly, is it? Sparkly fossil. Wow.
Oh, it's a dog.
Manky found a fossil.
I don't do. It's eating it.
He's eating the fossil. Oh, he must be hungry.
It's not
No,
chocolate cake.
that's not chocolate.
No, Manky, that's not chocolate. That's a fossil.
No. That's a rock.
That's a rock.
Silly.
Oh, he's a silly.
Silly panda bear.
Silly panda bear. Oh.
Silly monkey.
Max and Anya just found us these shells. And apparently, according to Max, you can draw on stones with these shells, so let's have a look. That was possibly a bit wet. Let's have a look for another stone, a dry one. Here we go. Try again. Oh yes, look at that. For Max. Wow.
Thing is, there's not a great deal of what we would normally discover on a littered beach. There are those areas with bits and pieces, outcrops of rubbish, but it's mainly modern and embedded in, and as we say, we don't tend to disturb areas, particularly under cliff faces. That's not a wise move. And of course the pebbles that they've used along the beach here are covering a great deal of what's underneath. But as you look, you see such amazing formations on this beautiful location. It's just weird and wonderful. Some of those boulders there, the white boulders, they look like carvings. You see a turtle there at the front that's been carved. It hasn't, it's just the form of the stone. And such amazing shapes and imprints created by nature, in amongst, of course, the concrete bollards and defences built by man. It's certainly a view that's worth seeing. It's certainly a place worth visiting, and it's certainly been a great day.
Okay, let's say bye bye beach and we go home. Bye bye beach.
Bye bye, bees.
Yo, let's go.